you're coming home to the light in your eyes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first Crescendo Way podcast of the new 2026-2027 season. Bobby Grant's got the team started now with the new signings coming in. Pre-season has begun, and I'm delighted to welcome our first guest for the new season, one of Bobby Grant's newest signings, Ben Darby. Ben, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to get the chance to do these sorts of things.
Well, thank you very much, Ben. We're really excited to talk to you. You've come in with a high reputation. We remember you playing against us last season for Gayson. So we sort of know what you're all about, but we'd like to get started with just a few questions. First of all, how would you describe yourself as a player?
I think high energy, a bit of a box to box. I don't like to say that I'm more attacking, more defending. I like to think that I can do a bit of both. I'm fit. I'll be able to run all day. I'm quite powerful, athletic. I like to get on the ball. I like to make runs in behind. I like a tackle. So not to big up myself, but I think I'm a bit of an all rounder.
Well, you've certainly come in with a really good reputation. As we remember you playing against us last season for Gayson, and you were a standout performer in those games against us. So we're really glad to have you on board. So, Bobby, with Bobby Grant assembling the new squad ready for the season, how did you come to Marine? Who approached you? How did the move materialise?
So obviously the season ended, and within a couple of days, I'd spoke to Bobby on the phone. Obviously, when I played against Marine, me and Bobby had a bit of back and forth. So he sort of rang and he mentioned that he loved that sort of side of it, and that he wants us to be doing that to other people this year and be doing it with each other and not against each other. So I think that was the first things for me where I sort of thought like he's the type of manager that I'd like to play for. Got a bit about them themselves, and then obviously he's played at a good level himself, and I know I've still got a lot to learn. So that was part of it, and then it sort of was a slow pre-season. I was sort of doing my own individual training with Mick Clegg and people like that to keep me ticking over. But I really just sort of took my time with everything that I was doing. I spoke to the new director of football, Jimmy, and a few other people in and around the club, and everyone that I'd spoke to spoke so highly of the club and spoke about the project that they were trying to build, and to be part of a team that's got a direction and they know where they want to be heading. It makes our lives as the players much easier because you're all on the same page. You know exactly what everyone wants to achieve. I'd spoke to past players that had been here before, and like I say, there was just never anything that worried me that anyone said. It was also positive. So I think once I'd spoke to everyone that I needed to, it was a bit of a no-brainer.
Well, that's great to hear. I mean, what was your impressions of Marine from last season playing for Gayson?
Yeah, they were. Every time we played him, when we played at Marine's ground, obviously we ended up winning. But I just remember coming away thinking like, thank God they got a man sent off there, because I think if it didn't, it would have probably been a different story. They were always really tough to play against. They were right in your face. You didn't have a second to breathe. Um, and that's the sort of team I like playing for: high energy, aggressive, on the front foot. So yeah, that was sort of my initial thinking, really.
For a young player as well, you've already got quite the strong profile for non-league football. I believe you started at Halifax under-18s. Would you mind just taking us a little bit through your career?
Yeah. So obviously, as like a real youngster, I was sort of in different academies growing up. City, United, Liverpool, them sorts of ones. And then yeah, as you mentioned there, I got to Halifax, and did like my scholarship there. So I did 2 years there, but I did my first loan at like the back end of my first year to All Sager. So from like late 16s to early 17s. I was playing men's football, starting week in week out. So I'd be training in the day with Halifax, and then on a Tuesday and Thursday I'd travel down to Alsager and train with them 2 nights a week as well. So I think for me that was sort of like a real big turning point from going from playing your academy football to learning how to deal with lads who are faster, stronger, more experienced than you. And I think that was the point where I really began to sort of like adapt my game and become a bit more street smart almost while playing. And then from there, I was sort of in with the first team now and again. Um, didn't get offered my pro at the end of the 2 year scholarship, and then went and did a year with Stockport County. Again, that was sort of, I was in and around the first team, so it was good to be around that level at the time. Obviously, they were in League Two at the time, and were pushing to go up. So I think again, being in and around them sorts of lads was only going to make me better. And within that, I was sort of still playing men's football when I could. So I'd be playing for Stockport Town when I was available to play for them. So from being like 16, 17, I've played, 50, 60 men's footballs games. So I think that was sort of like my turning point when I started to play in men's football.
A lot of youngsters go through a similar journey as you did in terms of going around various academies, and you've now established yourself and cemented a position as a quality National League North midfielder. What sort of advice would you give to any of the young fans watching this game, who are watching this podcast, who've been through and going through a similar journey that you are?
I think the biggest thing for me was just to keep going. I never, because obviously I got released from teams, and you don't get offered pros or whatever it is. I think I never had a point where I sort of took a break. I've got friends who would be released as a kid and then sort of have a break and then sort of like almost fall out of love with it. But for me, I think them setbacks are needed. You need to get told no sometimes because it keeps you on. I for me, when I didn't get the opportunities that I wanted, it just wanted me to work harder almost and go and prove them wrong and say like, well, in 2 years you'll want me back and then you'll have to whatever it is. So I think that just keep going, keep your head up, and opportunities will come. But one door closes, another one opens.
That's great advice, and I'm sure any youngster who's watching this, and I know with my own nephew, he's on a similar journey to yourself, where he's gone through numerous academies around the northwest,
Yeah.
clubs at various levels. So I think it's great advice, especially for when they're hearing from someone like yourself who is establishing a great footballing career. And as you said, taking the opportunities when they come, and not dropping your head.
Yeah, yeah. It is difficult, obviously, when all you want to do is play football, and someone then says like, "You're not for us." It's tough to hear. It's tough to take, but I think you have to just be confident enough in yourself to say, "I am good enough," and go and work harder. Take on their advice of the reason as to why you might not be getting that opportunity or whatever it is, and go and improve on that. If it's your weak foot, if it's your finishing, go and get a ball and go and work on that and improve that area. Use it as a learning curve as opposed to a rejection.
I know as well last season you found yourself in the position of being named Player of the Month and also making the National League North Team of the Week as well. What sort of impact do those accolades have on you as a player?
Um, Obviously, it's always nice to get sort of some form of recognition. I think I'd be lying if I said it's not a nice feeling, but you don't ever really do it for the recognition. You do it because you want to play. So of course, it's nice to be noticed and be put out there as you are doing well, and it gives you that little bit of reassurance, gives you that extra boost of confidence that you sometimes need. Especially for me last year when at times form within like as a group and as a team wasn't always there. So you'd go through periods where we're going through a bit of a rough patch, and them little boosts there are sometimes what you need to sort of kick you on again and get you back into that form as a team.
With the pre-season now having started as well, I'm sure you'll be keen to chase more of those awards throughout the season. How are you finding pre-season up to now? We're 3 games and we've just won yesterday against Prescott Cables 1-0. How are you finding getting back into things? Is there any players for you early on that are standing out within the team that you're excited to play with?
Yeah, I've absolutely loved it since I've come in. It's the lads are all great. Obviously, it's a new environment for myself. Um, but the lads have been welcoming. They've been, as nice as you could want. And for me, the thing that I've really noticed is like the intensity of the training. Everyone works hard. Um, so yeah, that's sort of been the biggest thing for me. And obviously, working with someone like Bobby, he's played the game. He knows exactly what it's like. He knows exactly what it takes to get to that next step. So I've loved being able to speak with him, speak with a few of the other lads. And then as for players that I've enjoyed at the minute, I think I've got a good little group in the middle with Wheelo and Matty Mack. So I think that's one that I can see he's going to hopefully do well anyway.
With sort of the hard work and, as you say, the intensity of training, that leads us into us thanking our sponsor for this video because they are just incredible as well. That is GW Services UK Limited, Industrial Boiler and Maintenance, Steam Boiler Solutions and Repairs. They're based in Liverpool. Go to their website, gwservicesuk.com. Thank you again, GW Services UK Limited, for sponsoring this video. So, Ben, just wanted to go back then, take you back down memory lane to have a little chat about how it all started for you. Can you remember your first footballing memories? Can you remember what your first boots were that you got?
Yeah, I've always been obsessed with Ronaldo, so it'll have been anything that Ronaldo was wearing at the time.
Is
And
that
sort of my
Brazilian
first
Ronaldo or Cristiano?
Cristiano, not old enough for a Brazilian. Um, so at the time, I'd have been playing for my local team, which was Denton West End, and our team at the time was incredible. We sort of won everything there was to win. I was actually playing a year up, and obviously you only get to do that until 9, and then you sign your first contract at your academy. So up until 9, our team was just like incredible. I remember sort of going to like tournaments in Scarborough and winning and things like that. So as a youngster, it was. So I've always loved football, but it was like a special moment and one that I don't think I'd ever forget.
With the talking about like starting off with your first idol and whatever Cristiano was wearing, was he your first and only idol, or did you have a number of football idols as well at the time?
Um, I think Ronaldo's just a superstar, but he's so different to me. Obviously, completely different players. So I've always looked at him as like my idol. But then I'd look at other people, whether it's a Roy Keane or uh, you know someone that's more sort of like me in a way. So be able to learn off them. I think with Ronaldo, what it is for me is his work ethic, how much he dedicates to it. So I've always like admired that sort of side of Ronaldo, as opposed to trying to be like Ronaldo, because I'm not an out and out goal scorer or a flying winger. Um, but no, I sort of look at other players in my midfield, whether it's a Xavi and Iniesta, them sorts of people who at one point were at the top of the game. It's 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 more beneficial than you think being able to watch people like that, whether it's on TV or what, to be able to look at what they're doing and how they make the game look so easy and little things that they do, and you sort of pick things off different other people and sort of like make your own player, and that's how you become who you are.
Can you remember what your first football kit was? And did you have a name on the back?
Yeah, I believe the first one I can remember is the '08 one, which was the AIG United one. And I had the red one and the blue one, both with Ronaldo on the back. But yeah, that was that. When I think of the United kit for me, that's always what I go back to.
Yeah. I always remember my one. I think I've still got it somewhere. The one I remember going out and pleading for was the '96 Liverpool away kit, which was a green and white. It was we lost to Manchester United in the FA Cup final. I think it was actually Roy Keane who actually scored that goal, if I remember.
Was it?
Um, yeah, and I remember getting Stan Collymore on the back as well. Oh, that was all before the Ulrika stuff came out.
Yeah,
Um, so I take it you're a Manchester United fan by trade.
yeah. Well, I don't know if I should be saying that in Liverpool now.
Well, that was where it was going to lead me to. Do you ever feel some like? I don't think that, especially not at non-league, you know what I mean. And play, Marine fans will always look at you as a Marine player first before anything else. But did you ever sort of feel that sort of, because you would have been brought up with the tribalism of Liverpool versus Manchester. Do you ever feel that when you're coming in now, or do you feel like you are a Marine player now and you're effectively Scout?
Yeah, yeah. No, I've not felt any of it, to be honest. I think at this sort of level, when you're coming in, you're coming in as the Marine player as opposed to then the United fan. I think they sort of don't have to go hand in hand. But no, it was something I thought about. I was thinking to myself, I wonder if there's a bit of like hostility or if there's anything like that. But there's been nothing. Like I say, the lads are all sound. Um, but yeah, no, I've not experienced any of that yet. Anyway.
No. Have you listened to an angry Bobby Grant yet? The Bobby Grant rant?
Well, he always half seems a bit angry, so I don't know if I've seen the worst of it yet. But
Yeah.
there's been a few little moments. But I think it's important. I sort of enjoy that side of it. I like it when you have a manager that's going to call you out, or I need someone that if I'm not doing what I should be doing, I need someone to give it me a little bit and kick me start. So I don't mind that side of it if that comes out.
How have you found your relationship already with Bobby at these early stages, then as a manager and coming in to play under him?
Yeah, I've loved it. I can't speak highly enough of him. I think the way he's been with me since even before joining, he'd be ringing, he'd be texting, checking in, and then since coming in, he's been brilliant. He's looked after me. He spoke to me. Um, he tells you what he wants from you, what he thinks you're good at, how you're going to fit into the team, what your strengths are. You know what I mean? So I think it's been really, really good for me to come into a team knowing exactly what I'm here to do, and that I've got his full support and the club's full support. I think it creates that sort of positive environment to be in, to allow you to want to run through a wall for your team and that sort of thing. So like I say, I love that side of it. I love it when a manager's passionate, and obviously he's also got massive amounts of experience. So for me, I think it's good who whether that's in a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever it is, who wants to go and play full time. I think to have a manager like Bobby that's been there and done it is invaluable. I think there'll be so much that I'll be able to learn and take from him, whether that's on the pitch, off the pitch, whatever it is. But to have someone there who you can reach out to and work so closely with that's done what it is that you want to do, I think it'll be a massive thing.
When season finishes just as it has back in April, how do you spend that downtime then? How do you relax and sort of look to stay in shape as well?
Yeah, I think this year was a bit of a weird one. Obviously, especially with the way it ended with Curzon. No one sort of ever prepares you for that. So it sort of it almost took a couple of days, weeks to allow it to sort of feel real. You're never expecting to be the team that gets relegated, um, and it did. Yeah, it took a while to sink in a little bit and sort of accept that that was the reality of it, and you weren't just in a dream. But then I think again, like I said at the start, it's about just cracking on at the time and just dealing with it and riding that. That's just a part of this sort of chapter. So for me, I sort of just got back in the gym. Like I said, I was working with Mick Clegg pretty much every day. So I didn't really have a break up until the back end of like the off season, and then I went away and just had 10 days away, and sort of used that time then to sort of reset. And I'm lucky I'm quite naturally fit. If I don't train and then I play on a game, I'll be able to get through the 90 minutes. So I sort of took that 10 days to really relax and sort of stop thinking about football and what was going on. So that was nice. But other than that, I've sort of maintained everything, to be honest. I've not stopped training.
Have you got a preference for a destination then? When you go, say, if you go away for 10 days, where would you like to go if there's anywhere on the map that you can choose?
Oh, to be fair, so far we've sort of done. I like to go different places each time. I'm not a big fan of always going back to the same spot. So we've just done Marrakesh in Morocco, which was beautiful. But I'm a very much a chilled holiday. You know, sit by a pool, sit by a beach, and that'll do me, to be honest. Anywhere that's warm and good food, and yeah, I'm happy.
When we talk about good food, where are we starting then for breakfast, lunch, and your evening meal? What anything on the menu that you can have? How you starting your day and how you're finishing it?
Yeah. So for me, my breakfast, I'd always have like a sourdough with avocado, bit of egg, bit of bacon, and that's sort of like my go-to. If I ever think I need to play well today, that's what I'll go for. And then sort of lunchtime, 9 times out of 10, it's some form of chicken. Um, Whether that's chicken and rice, pasta, anything. To be honest, I'm not too fussy. And then for my evening meal, to be honest, whatever the missus will cook for me. I just eat whatever's in front of me. To be honest,
Yeah. That's it. Whatever's on that plate's getting demolished.
yeah, I won't complain. I'll just eat.
So you're on holiday and you've
Yeah.
got four drinks to pick from. They can be soft drinks, they can be spirits, they can be a real ale on any pump. You've got four to pick from. What are your four drinks that you're having on your holiday?
My four drinks. I'll go. I'm not really a big drinker. Holiday's about the only time that I'll have a drink. So if I'm on holiday, I go a Fanta lemon. I feel like it's a bit of a staple. A Coke, a water, and then some form of cocktail. But I'm not too normally like a fruity cocktail.
Yeah. Strawberry daiquiri is my
Yeah,
preference.
yeah. I don't mind a strawberry
I hold,
daiquiri. Yeah.
yeah, I hold that. I'm a 6'1" man, and I like a strawberry daiquiri.
Yeah, you've got to own it, haven't
That's it.
you?
Have you got a preference of a film or TV series, or a film saga that you like to come back and just watch, or are you more of a documentary person?
No, my favorite film would be Man on Fire. That sort of I love that film. I could watch it every day if I needed to. And then series, I don't often like revisit. But my favorite like one that I would is always Brooklyn Nine-Nine. If I ever think I don't know what to watch, or if I'm going to sleep, Brooklyn Nine-Nine on, and I can lie there all day.
Yeah, that's sort of your chill one where you don't have to
Yeah,
think about anything. It's just there.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Ours was always the royal family.
Yeah,
So
I've never really watched too much of it. I've seen little clips of it and stuff,
yeah.
but I've never fully sat down and watched it.
We quote it now in our house. We just sit there and quote it all day.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite land at a family party when no one else has a clue what you're
No one
talking
else gets it. Yeah.
That's it. It's just becomes your own eternal joke. Um, Marine have released now the home and away kits. Have you got a preference on which one you prefer to be seen in?
I've not actually seen the home one in person yet, but obviously we got to wear the away one last night, which I love. I think it's a top kit. So yeah, I'd say at the minute, without seeing the home one in person, I'd say I'm leaning probably more towards the away one.
Well, certainly the away one is a beautiful kit, and last season's green one it ended up being Marine's best selling kit, and by
Oh,
some
really?
distance as well. Yeah, it flew off the shelves, and yeah, I think they had to restock it on several occasions just because
Yeah.
of how popular it was, and I expect it'll probably be the same again. The
Yeah.
home kit was done on a fan vote, and it was very close between two of them. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that sells. But I mean, I'll probably end up picking up myself anyway.
Yeah.
Um, favorite music and favorite music artist.
Ooh. Favorite music artist would be Drake.
Yeah,
I think that I don't listen to sort of a big variety of things, but I think if I'm in the car or no matter what I'm doing, I think Drake sort of just fits exactly what I want it to do. Whether it's I want to relax, I'm in the car, I'm coming on the way to a game. He sort of does it all for me, so it'll always be Drake. Luckily, I got to go and watch him at concert not long ago, which was good.
is Drake who you would listen to as well prior to kickoff to get you going, get you
Yeah,
motivated?
if it was sort of if I had my own headphones on, I'd have Drake on. The lads sort of put all sorts of stuff on to get them going. But if it was my choice, I'd have Drake. Yeah.
Have you had a song yet where someone's put it on in the changing room that's completely demotivated you and raised an eyebrow?
No, you know what? They're all actually quite like uplifting, high tempo songs. So I've not yet had any of that. But there was a few points last year where a song would come on and everyone's looking at each other like, "Yeah, everyone's about like crying here."
So I always remember a friend of mine asking about putting Taylor Swift songs on, and I said, "We're on an away day, not a breakup.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to be sat there eating Ben and Jerry's, sobbing into it."
Yeah, no, luckily I've not had any of that yet.
Yeah.
There's a-
So we've obviously it's a Marine new set of fans now for you to to get to meet and get to know. What message have you got for the supporters for the season coming ahead, and how can they get best to know you as well? Would you consider yourself an approachable person for the kids to come up and get pictures with?
yeah, I love all that side of stuff. I was once a kid. I know what it's like to sort of watch people play football, and especially if you're young lads that support Marine and want to be part of that. They almost look up to you a little bit. And I've been there. I know what that's like. So, if kids want to come over and get a picture or whatever it is, just have a conversation, ask me a question. That's absolutely fine. And the same to the rest of the fans. If you want to have a chat about anything, if you want to ask me anything, I'm more than happy to stand there and have a conversation, whether it's after the game or in the club bit afterwards. Like, no matter what I'm doing, I'm always there to go and have a chat with you if you need to.
That's wonderful, Ben. The final question I want to put forward to you as well is, what would you consider to be a good season for Marine for the season forthcoming?
I think you've got to aim to go and win it. Obviously, I know this league at the minute is scuffed. There's a lot of teams in there that are in good positions that are full time, and that does take a big effect on it. But with looking at the group that we've got and the background staff and the managers, and I think you've got to aim to go and win it. I think for me, whether that's through winning the league or that's winning the playoffs, I think the aim has got to be we want to go up. I think that's the club's aim. Um, and I believe that we can do it, and I think we will do it too.
That's wonderful. Ben, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have.
Yeah, I've
Um,
loved it. It's been really good. I've enjoyed it.
really appreciate you making the time for us. So thank you again. And thank you again as well to GW Services UK Limited as well for sponsoring the video. We've got more content coming up as well. We've got more podcasts, and as you know, we'll be busy throughout the season bringing you marine content. So from us here at TCW, thank you very much, Ben Darby.
Thank you very much.
Hey, hey, man.